all under the watch of President Rajapaksa, who was elected in 2005, a man pushing the country, the UN says, in an authoritarian direction.
We have managed to develop the country, infrastructure, and the reconciliation in the north and the east. And we have released almost all prisoners of war at that time. The people who came and surrendered to us, other than few criminals. So it is up to the judiciary to act on that. Otherwise, we have released all of them. Because I believe that the rehabilitation must be done through the society. The society must rehabilitate them. And I can see some good results.
You present a positive picture, but you're still getting international criticism. I know when you spoke to the UN General Assembly, you said the world needs no policing by a few states. What did you mean by that?
Yes, because some people think that, some states think that they are the police. I mean, they have to, they will talk about other people, other countries, and they will try to push or by force make them difficult.
Which states do you mean by that? Western states?
Some. These are all propaganda work. This is propaganda against Sri Lanka. So please compare with the other countries. Don't isolate a small country like Sri Lanka and try to bully the Sri Lanka. Some of them like to bully a small country where you can hammer.
From the most senior human rights official of the UN, the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Nave Pillay. She came to your country, she met you on that visit, and when she went away, she wrote her latest report, she says the government's heading in an increasingly authoritarian direction. What do you make of that?
So this is what I can't understand. For the last 5 years, we had about 19 elections. Provincial Council election, then the parliamentary. It's up to the people to decide on governments.
Let me read something else from what she said. Surveillance and harassment appears to be getting worse in Sri Lanka, which is a country where critical voices are quite often attacked or even permanently silenced. What do you make of those words?
No, I reject all that. I mean, this is what I can't understand. When a person come here, we have a opposition. You must always remember, in a democratic country, it's not like a dictatorial country where a dictator is there. So there are other views. So the opposition is always trying to defeat the government, whether it is with the international community or inside the country. You must remember, this is a democratic country. Democracy is there. They can say anything. I mean, I have a cabinet of 58 people. From Trotskyites, I have a world only Trotskyite member of parliament. He is in my cabinet. The Moscow wing Communist Party members are there. The right wing extremists are there. The religious extremists, all this type of, Tamil, the Sinhala, the Muslim. So we have all these people in the cabinet. So they are all working together. I have to manage them. But individual MPs, ministers or officials, they can say anything they want. I don't know why she said this. Because we will never do that. Why should we? Then we would have stopped her coming in if we want to know. But we allowed her to go anywhere, allowed her to meet anybody she wants. And we knew that these people will say these things. I mean, most of them who are opposed to the government, they can say anything they want. But we allowed them to do that. We would have stopped it. Don't you think so?
Can I raise this specific point? She doesn't think you've yet had a credible inquiry into what happened at the end of the war, and she's giving you until March next year to have one. What's your response to that? Because it's the main point in her report, I think.
Now, with 30 years of war, she wants only the last few days. Why? Why? I can't understand. So we must look into the whole 30 years. What happened? Now if somebody asks us, now what happened in Hiroshima, in Japan, after the war, are we going to inquire into that? So, I mean, you have to be, fair in this game, because for the treatment must be equal to all countries. But when now with last 2 days, now see what we can tell you. We are very open, and the Al Jazeera went there. They were in front of the battlefield. We allowed them to go there.
Do you believe the army did anything wrong in that period?
I don't think so, because they were well trained. Because otherwise, the last few days will the IDPs, I mean the people who was kept there hostage by the LTTE, cross over to our government side, and the army helped them. They gave their water, they gave their food to these people.
Because there are allegations the army shelled them and even shelled field hospitals.
No, they didn't. I inquired into it. They didn't do it.
And you are ultimately responsible, aren't you? Because you're the President and the Minister of Defence, so you take ultimate responsibility for what happened.
That's why I say, but if somebody had done something wrong, I'm going to take action against them. There must be evidence. You can't just say a pinpoint and say this man had done this or the whole army without. Then we will inquire into it.
Your former ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva said, the obvious observation will be, if this is how the state authorities treat unarmed Sinhalese, largely Buddhist civilian men, women and children who are protesting against polluted water, how must that state have treated the Tamils in the closing stage of the war?
This is why some of these people are making a political...
He used to be your ambassador.
My ambassador, yes, in my time, we know. Now he's a member of an NGO, a powerful NGO. So they have their own views. So this is what I said, the democracy in the country. They can say anything.
They want the army to withdraw from the north and they want a degree of autonomy. Will you now give them that?
No. Do you know that first they said something like that and they changed it? Because army is not there. They can't ask army to be withdrawn. Then, if the other provincial councils also ask me to withdraw their army camps from all over the country, where can I have the army? Are somebody else going to give me a place to keep the army?
Maybe you don't need such a large army. You don't have a war. We don't have a war anymore.
You think so? No, for security we need army. I mean, we decide on our security and the strength. How many army people we need? And do you think that when army is discontinued, what will happen? We after war, Vietnam War, what happened? So we have to change.
But do you think
we have to change their attitudes. We have to rehabilitate them also.
Mr. President, do you think you have too many soldiers though?
No, we don't have.
A reliable estimate that I saw, 1 soldier to every 3 civilians in the north of Sri Lanka.
It's wrong. It's completely a wrong statistics. Because we have about 8,000 to 12,000 armed personnel in that area. We have released all the private lands. And we have kept certain areas where the port is. We have taken over some lands and kept, because we have given up all the other lands.
She also says that the military is even involved in education, agriculture and tourism.
This is what I can't understand. How can she say these things? Agriculture? I mean, they must eat. So when they have no other work, they do agriculture.
Another area of concern, Mr. President, is attacks against religious minorities. What are you doing to stop those attacks that have been reported?
No, it is, there were incidents. There were attacks. Some incident. You must see the background, why they were attacked. Now see, a girl was raped 6-7 years old girl was raped, then naturally they will go and attack them, whether they belong to any community or any religion. The people, when they heard about it, they were so upset, the relations, everybody. There were incidents like that. All incidents have some background to that. Because in Sri Lanka, this is the only country that I think the Muslims, the Hindus, even the Catholics, Christians, all are practicing their religion without any issue.
Navi Pillay talks about 227 incidents against Muslims. How are you going to
try? This is all nonsense.
But how are you going to try and improve community relations?
I ask them, if there is anything like that, give me the list. Then I can go through it. This is all there are few incidents, yes, individual incidents. Now when it's come to some other countries, I won't mention the names of the country. When 109 mosques had been demolished after a soldier was killed on the road, the government is not involved in that. Those are individual incidents. So in Sri Lanka, if something happens, the blame comes to me, to the government. In any other country it happens, it's an individual incident, isolated incident.
Can I ask you about the Rajapaksa family at the apex of the political system? Because your brothers all have important jobs, other family members have important jobs.
No, others are all politically appointed. I'm not appointed, I'm elected by the people. It's not my fault.
How long are you going to be standing for this job? How long are you going to do this job for, sir?
It all depends. The people can chase me out tomorrow. That all depends.
What is your vision?
Make the country prosperous and the people.
His successor, President Sirisena, was elected in January, and he's been proposing a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. But the UN's report insists his government cannot deliver justice on its own.
Even the United Nations reports which have alleged such crimes do not allege genocide in Sri Lanka, and I really don't agree that there was genocide. But having said that, there were extremely serious cases of human rights violations. Some may amount to war crimes, we don't know. But that's one of the reasons why we want to set up the transitional justice mechanisms. Again, not because we want to please the international community, not because of the pressure we may have had from the international community. We do it for our own people, because we feel that as a nation, we cannot move forward without coming to terms with our past. There are many, just as you have, there are many questions we have in our mind about many of the incidents which happened over the years.
Meanwhile, the head of the UN body that leads on sustainability and green issues, Erik Solheim, who was once a peace negotiator between the Sri Lankan government and the LTTE, is criticised for extensive and expensive air travel. A draft internal audit obtained by The Guardian says that Erik Solheim's actions risk the reputation of the UN environment. Organised parallel to the United Nations Human Rights Council session, the forum presented a declaration which consists of 4 points in a bid to respond to all LTTE sympathisers.
Clearly mentioned there's no war crime in Sri Lanka. Why are you continuously demanding for another inquiry?
The positions of all those particular groups that you have mentioned have been completely the opposite of the positions of the people consulted, and they're equally eminent people, by the United Nations in establishing its report. There were legal opinions and there were legal opinions. They are clearly not in sync. They are not in agreement. Which is why, rather than declaring that one side or the other has the absolute truth, we need to have another investigation to establish facts and to establish the official linkages.
Don't you think it's funny, it's fishy, something fishy, because this Ban Ki-moon, who was the Secretary to the UN, he came just after 3 days of the conclusion of the war. But when the LTTE was recruiting 3,000 child soldiers and using as cannon fodder, He never came here. When the LTTE was using 295,000 people as a human shield, he never came here. But he came to Sri Lanka just after 3 days to teach us about accountability. So don't you think that there's something fishy about it?
The Global Sri Lankan Forum and LTTE sympathizes at the headquarters of the UNHCR.
In the Nandikadal Lagoon, on the verge of finishing the war, Prabhakaran went into the Nandikadal Lagoon, surrounded by about 300 innocent Tamil people, including pregnant women, and planted thousands of anti-personnel mines.
Declared openly that there was only 70,000 people in the Vani region, okay? But it ended up with nearly 280,000 people in the camps.
So what is the big deal about that?
What is the deal is, what was the intention of the Sri Lankan army? The intention of the Sri Lankan army, they knew very well that there were nearly 400,000 people. Their intention was to kill all the people.
It is the Sri Lankan army who saved those people. I just read out 4 years. Every single year, since 1983 until 2009, you were killing our people. You were killing Sinhalese. And Sinhalese people never did anything to Tamils. We never did and we will never do. We are not like you. We are not like you, sir. I don't know whether you remember, in Kathukundi, in 1990, 147 people, Muslims, were killed in a mosque, praying inside the mosque. That is how LTTE treated Muslims. Sir, we never talk against Tamils. Tamils are our brothers who were born in the country, that is their country. There's no discrimination. We accept their right, but we don't accept terrorism. We don't accept people who supported terrorism. How many Sinhalese did they kill? Thousands and thousands of Sinhalese were killed. Here we don't talk about that. You said Trincomalee, Sinhalese population, 100 years ago 3%, then it went up. What about Vellavat in Colombo? 100 years ago it was 1%. Now it is more than 80%. That is because people who live in the country, whether you are Sinhalese, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Tamil, you can travel anywhere in the country. That is your country. How dare you control and say,
They killed pregnant women. They cut to hack to death newborn children. They bombed buses. You want to see? I will give you this.
Sinhala